All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to dig into a really famous passage in the Bible, one that's all about the crucifixion. But hidden inside of it is this one bizarre phrase that, once you unlock it, well, it reveals a massive spiritual war happening right there at the foot of the cross. So this comes from Psalm 22. It's a passage so packed with crucifixion imagery that Jesus himself actually quoted it while he was on the cross. It describes everything: the suffering, the mocking, the pain, and then bam, out of nowhere we get this line: "Strong bulls of Bashan surround me." It's just a weirdly specific detail, right? What on earth are the bulls of Bashan? Now, for a long time, most people just read this as poetry, a metaphor for, powerful and angry human enemies. But what if it's not a metaphor at all? What if the psalmist was describing a literal gathering of dark spiritual beings at that very moment? That is the mystery we are diving into today. Like we said, for thousands of years, Christians have seen Psalm 22 as a stunning prophecy of the cross. I mean, the details in there are just uncanny. But this one line, the one about the bulls of Bashan, it kind of gets skipped over, It's just treated like a poetic insult. Well, today, we're putting it right under the microscope. So you've basically got two camps here. The traditional view says it's just figurative language. The enemies are like powerful, angry bulls. It's an insult, nothing more. But this other view, pushed by scholars like the late Dr. Michael Heiser, suggests something way more specific, and honestly a lot more chilling: that these bulls are actual supernatural enemies, and that the key to their identity is the location, Bashan. To figure out who these bulls are, we have to start with their home turf. The clue isn't just the animal, it's the place it's tied to. So our whole investigation has to begin with a really simple question: what was Bashan known for in the ancient world? And this, right here, is where things get really, really interesting. Because Bashan wasn't just some random pasture famous for its cattle. Oh no. In the ancient mindset, this place had a reputation, a very, very dark reputation. It was seen as the scene of a cosmic crime, a place with a direct link to the supernatural underworld. So, okay, on a map, it's a region east of the Jordan River. Simple enough. But spiritually, whoa. This was enemy territory. It was known as a hotbed for the worship of rival gods, especially Baal, and it was considered a nexus point for cosmic evil, almost like a weak spot, a portal between our world and the demonic realm. So check out Bashan's rap sheet here. The evidence is just damning. It was a center for Baal worship. It was home to King Og, one of the giant Rephaim. And if you know your lore, that's a big deal. It's also where you find Caesarea Philippi, which was literally nicknamed the Gates of Hades. Yeah. In short, people in the ancient world thought it was a literal gateway to hell. And look, this isn't just some wild theory. This comes straight from top-tier scholarship. The Dictionary of Deities and Demons in the Bible flat out says that for the surrounding cultures, Bashan was their version of hell. It was the home of their dark gods and evil spirits. So when the Bible mentions Bashan, it's tapping into this universally understood sinister reputation. Okay, so we've established that Bashan is bad news, but the biblical story doesn't just leave it at that. Our next big clue comes from another psalm, Psalm 68, which paints a picture of a full-on cosmic turf war taking place on this very piece of real estate. Psalm 68 sets up this incredible tale of two mountains. On one side, you have Yahweh's mountain, Sinai, or Zion, his chosen home base. But then, the psalm points to a rival mountain, Mount Bashan. And get this, the text also calls it a Har Elohim, a mountain of God. The implication is just staggering. This was the headquarters for the other side, and God was coming to take it back. The story in Psalm 68 is all about divine combat. It describes God marching on Bashan, defeating its supernatural residents, and parading them away like prisoners in a victory march. So the Bible itself frames Bashan as a place crawling with hostile spiritual forces that God himself had to go and defeat. We have the location's reputation, and we have a story of cosmic conflict. But the evidence gets even more specific, even more powerful. What if the final clue, the real smoking gun, has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, embedded in the very sound of the word Bashan? This brings us to our final piece of evidence. And it's a linguistic aha moment. Scholars who were digging into the languages related to ancient Hebrew found a stunning connection that completely reframes everything we thought we knew about this one little word. Here's how it works. Ancient languages in the same region, like Hebrew and Ugaritic and Akkadian, they often share root words. You can think of them as linguistic cousins. So, by comparing these related languages, you can sometimes uncover these hidden or original meanings of a word. And that's exactly what happened here. Okay, just look at this discovery. In the related language of Ugaritic, the word Batan meant dragon snake. In Akkadian, the word Basmu also meant dragon snake. The Hebrew word for Bashan is BSN. The consonants are a perfect match. This points to an absolutely incredible conclusion. The name Bashan is a word play.
So here's the kicker. Bashan wasn't just the name of a place known for demonic stuff. The name itself, to an ancient listener, would have sounded just like their word for serpent or dragon. Bashan is literally the place of the serpent.
And now we can finally put all the pieces together. We've got the location, we've got the cosmic conflict, and we have the linguistic smoking gun. Let's go ahead and solve the case of the bulls of Bashan. Let's just run through the trail of evidence one last time. We started with that mysterious phrase in the Crucifixion psalm. We discovered that Bashan was known as the gateway to the underworld. We saw in Psalm 68 that it was the site of a cosmic war with God. And finally, the nail in the coffin. The name itself means place of the serpent. The conclusion? It's pretty unavoidable.
The strong bulls of Bashan are not just angry humans. They are the strong powers from the place of the serpent. They are the demonic forces of the underworld, the spiritual authorities of the rival kingdom, gathering to gloat at the cross. They surround Jesus thinking they are witnessing their greatest victory. At the very moment, he is securing their ultimate defeat.
This leaves us with a final thought. This interpretation transforms the crucifixion from a historical event carried out by men into the climactic battle in a cosmic war. It wasn't just about paying for sin. It was about defeating the powers of darkness on their own turf. And that raises a really important question. How does seeing a cosmic battle, not just a human execution, change what the cross means to you?